Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is a little bit of a different video, but something that I really wanted to talk to you about. I am not going to be here today to preach to you about any sort of diet in particular, but I just sort of wanted to let you know what my thoughts were right now, where I am. I might turn the comments off for this, I'm not quite sure, because I'm not here to be judged. This is just where I currently am with my food journey. So I'm going to start off by saying right now that I am not vegan after Veganuary, and I will give you sort of reasons as to why very soon, but I would now consider myself plant-based. That's where I currently am. But I tried Veganuary in, what year are we? In the beginning of 2018 and was an epic fail. I didn't really know much about what I could eat really, and I thought it was too big of a step for me all at once. So I spent 2018 trying to reduce my meat and to find substitutes for the things that I liked. So for example, burgers. I found some really nice burgers from, we tend to do our shopping from Ocado and like from Sainsbury's or Aldi's and Lidl's. So anything that I find I will put on screen for you here and tell you where it's from. So we find some really nice burgers and some really nice things like chicken nuggets and sausages, just so we've got that sort of like fast food kind of side sorted. So I stopped drinking milk altogether as well, and I found that quite easy because I really liked soya milk and I really liked oat milk. I didn't really like almond milk because I don't really like almonds, so we kind of stopped buying that. And I'm not too sure on the taste of coconut milk either. So what I tend to do is with cereals in the morning I will have soy milk, and then I do like oat, sometimes soya in my coffee if I have a coffee. So that was where I was in 2018, and the reason that I actually did that was because I watched Cowspiracy. I was just interested. I didn't actually think that it would make me want to go vegan, but that's what I did. I watched Cowspiracy, was horrified with what I saw, and wanted to sort of educate myself a little bit more about the ethical side of things and what meat and dairy consumption does to our world, as well as what it does to the animals. And a lot of the things that I saw were from America, and that made me think, hang on a minute, is that really in the UK? Do we have it better over here? And from what I found, actually we don't. I'm not going to be showing you anything graphic in this video at all. I don't like watching those things. I like somebody to sort of tell me. So I did actually watch a portion of, is it Land of Hope and Glory or something on YouTube. It's horrendous, and I don't advocate anybody go and watch that themselves. But I started watching it and I was just sort of ended up just listening to part of it, and the sounds are horrendous anyway, and I ended up turning it off. So that was enough for me to know that actually it does happen in the UK as well, and I just didn't want to be part of that. Personally, I'm not totally clued up on the facts. Like, I couldn't spiel off now a load of facts to you about percentage of water that animals take when we're rearing them for meat over what crops would take, but I know it's like massive, and the deforestation that's happening because of, I don't know the facts off by heart to tell you because I have a terrible memory as well. I just knew there was, everything that I found out was really bad. So one thing that I did find is that my body reacted really positively to cutting down meat and cutting down dairy, and I was finding that dairy for me was more of an inflammatory, whereas before I thought it was mostly sort of just gluten. Whereas yes, I do go bloated from gluten and things, but I still get to eat pizza and, you know, just have a bit of bloating and I'm fine afterwards. Whereas I thought that was the thing that I was majorly suffering from beforehand, and it turns out that it's mainly dairy that I suffer from. I've also watched something with Leonardo DiCaprio in, and I can't remember what that was, but there were a lot of facts in there as well. I don't know what that program was, it was really helpful. So, the beginning of 2019, I signed up for Veganuary, joined the Veganuary Facebook group, and that is absolutely amazing. Everybody on there is really supportive, and I personally think that vegans, vegetarians, meat eaters, you'll get somebody who is sort of hardcore with their opinions in everything, and you'll get people that just want to live their life without bothering anybody across those things. And personally, I think that's pretty true with religion as well. You get some people that are sort of hardcore with their beliefs and want to push sort of ideas on other people, whereas other people in different religions are happy with what they're doing and are accepting of other people. So I think in all different areas of life, you will get people that are the extreme and you'll get people that are not. And unfortunately, in all of those different areas in life, the extremists are the ones that make the whole group sound bad. So my worries for Veganuary, the big one was chocolate. And I asked in the Veganuary Facebook group, and I had lots of different people suggest different things. I didn't think they were that nice personally, because I love dairy milk chocolate with a passion, and it was really bad because I would sort of eat a bar like this nearly every day and would suffer the consequences. So I was worried that I wouldn't find something that I liked. So what I did do when I started Veganuary and obviously stopped eating the chocolate was about after, I'd say, a week, I didn't crave it anymore, which I found really strange, which I know it's like there's the sugars and things like that make you crave it. And at the end of Veganuary, when I did have some, I found it really sickly. Now, I am back eating chocolate now because I've sort of slowly put myself back into that. But it was just shocking how your body can totally go off something and realise that it's bad for you. That just blew my mind. So I know that I can live without dairy milk chocolate, but at the moment I am choosing not to. What I found the most difficult is that there is milk in nearly everything. I picked up wine, for example, and there's not milk, well, are there milk in things? I don't know. I picked up wine, for example, and it had been filtered some way with an animal bladder, and I was like, what? Didn't realise that happened. But milk is in nearly everything, and that really baffled me. If you start checking the ingredients quickly on the back, things that you wouldn't expect milk to be in, it was in, and I just found that really, really odd. So that was probably the most difficult thing for me when buying foods when we were out and about, was finding that there was milk in things that I really didn't think there would be. So during that month, things that helped me were Instagram. I found Accidentally Vegan, which were everyday sort of foods that were accidentally vegan, and I was just like, yes, when I found these different things. And what else did I find? There are some apps as well that I downloaded that were great for sort of scanning something quick instead of me going through and like checking all of the different ingredients. Like some of the words that I didn't understand, like there was one riboflavin, which is in foods, and I didn't really know what that was. So basically you just scan and it just tells you, is it vegan or not? And if not, it tells you what those ingredients are and why it's not vegan, which I found really, really helpful. So I am not a cook, shall we say. If you know me, you know I am not a cook. So I'm still using a lot of substitutes for things. So a lot of those like fast food kind of things. I am eating a lot more like fresh food, well, fresh veg. I'm trying to sort of not eat loads of fruit because of the sugar in it, but still having some, obviously. So I am slowly replacing the fast food side of things as well with more freshly prepared things, but I'm trying to not put so much pressure on myself and just trying to do like a little bit at a time. But I also found that my family were really supportive. I was quite worried what everybody would think, and they would sort of be questioning me and things, but nobody was, which was really, really nice. And if you do have anybody in your family that is sort of judgmental or questioning you and or doesn't quite understand, I found that the Veganuary Facebook group was great with facts, and there were some comments on there from people saying that, you know, their husband wasn't being supportive or mother wasn't being supportive, and they asked questions and how they could sort of discuss how they were feeling with their family members without being forceful in what they wanted to say. They just wanted to give facts of why they were feeling that way. So that was really interesting to read those comments on there. I was also really worried what other people outside of my family would think of me, because as I was talking about earlier with the extremists in sort of different groups, so the extremists in the vegan sort of groups, I think give people a bad name, and I was worried that people would think that I would become like that and sort of really hard hitting with everything that I wanted to say and be pushing all of these facts on people, and if somebody ate an animal product near me that I'd be sort of shouting at them down their throat and things, and that's not me anyway. But I was sort of worried about becoming a stereotype, and what I actually found is that me not being that stereotype has actually broken down that stereotype of what people think of vegans anyway. So where am I now, and why am I where I am now? So first of all, I'm really proud that I did Veganuary. Towards the very end of the month, I did eat 2 pizzas that were vegetarian pizzas, but obviously there was cheese on it, so but I'm really proud that I gave it an amazing go, and in my eyes I completed it, even though I had those 2 little sort of fails at the end. I'm really proud of myself because it was a challenge to do that for the whole month of January, when there were things that you'd pick up and there was milk in it or egg in it, and you'd be like, oh, let me find something else. So that takes a lot of effort when you're out and about as well and you're hungry, to find something that is vegan. In my other life choices, I am not currently vegan. I am cutting things down, trying to be more eco-friendly where I can, but at the moment, you know, I own leather bags and things like that. So I will be over time just cutting things down a little bit, trying to be a bit more sort of animal friendly and eco-friendly. But for me, I need to do sort of one thing at a time to make that consistent and to make sure that I stick to it. So from as of sort of beginning of this year, I haven't eaten any meat at all. So I'd probably say that I'm vegetarian at the moment. But I have incorporated some dairy back into my life in the form of some chocolate and in the form of cheese only on pizza, so not in anything else but on pizza. But overall I would say that I am plant-based because I'm not actively seeking out that cheese on the pizza or the chocolate. So that's where I would say that I am at the moment, is that I am plant-based. That is the way forward that I'm going to go for this year, whilst trying to cut the other things down in areas of my life. And finally, if we are sort of out and about, if we're going out for a meal or something, what I'm tending to do is, if there isn't a vegan option, I'm choosing the veggie option. So overall, I think this is a massive sort of change for me. I'm really proud of myself, to be honest with you, for sticking to this way of life and for slowly making those changes. So I hope that you are supportive. I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything at all. It's totally up to you with what you want to do in your life, but this is where I currently am now, and I hope you don't judge me for where I am right now. This is a journey for me, and I think that I will get there one day, but as I said, I need to do one thing at a time. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this information, and I will speak to you all soon.